Hello, and welcome back to Mr. English Lab. My name is Luna, and I'm here to guide you on your journey to clear, confident, and natural English. If you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button so you never miss a lesson. Your support truly helps this channel grow. All right, take a deep breath, relax, and let's begin today's session. In this story, I want you to imagine that you are walking with me, slowly and calmly, through a simple day. This day looks normal from the outside, but inside, it is full of small, heavy feelings. These feelings are familiar to many people. They are the quiet pressure in your mind. They are the thoughts that don't stop running. They are the little worries that sit on your shoulders even when nothing big is happening. And as you listen, I will use simple English, slow and clear, so you can understand every idea, feel every moment, and practice your English listening and speaking with the calm rhythm of this story. I am your guide today, and as always, this is Mr. English Lab, helping you grow your skills while also helping you feel lighter, more peaceful, and more in control. Our story begins early in the morning, before the sun is fully awake, when the air is still cool and soft. You open your eyes, but you do not jump out of bed. Instead, you lie still, looking at the gentle light entering your room. You feel something inside your chest. It is not pain. It is not fear. But it is something tight, like a small knot. Maybe you felt it yesterday. Maybe you felt it last week. Maybe you have carried it for a long time without noticing. It is stress, but not the big kind, just the small, quiet kind that builds slowly over time. You breathe in and out, slowly, and you try to understand this feeling. You don't want it to control your day. You want to do well at work or school. You want to speak better English. You want to feel calm and focused. So today, you decide to take a small step. You decide to learn simple ways to reduce stress, not in a big, complicated way, but in little moments that help you find peace again. You sit up on your bed. Your feet touch the floor, and the world feels real again. The sound of morning is soft, maybe the sound of birds, maybe the sound of the wind, maybe the distant sound of a car passing on the street. You stretch your arms, and this small stretch feels like a small release. You didn't know your shoulders were tense, but now you notice. You didn't know your neck was tight, but now you feel it. It surprises you how much stress your body holds without telling you clearly. You take one more deep breath. The air enters. The air leaves. And in this tiny moment, something inside you relaxes, just a little. You walk to the kitchen. Maybe you're alone. Maybe you live with family. Maybe you are getting ready for work. Maybe you are rehearsing English phrases in your mind. Maybe you are thinking of a problem at work or something you need to finish. As you prepare a simple breakfast, you notice your thoughts jumping from one thing to another. They move too fast. They do not stop. You think, why is my mind so busy in the morning? And then you remember that stress often begins before the day even starts. Stress begins in our thoughts. Stress begins in the stories we tell ourselves about our day. You bring your cup, your plate, your food to the table and sit down. For a moment, you eat quietly. No phone. No news. No noise. You just eat. You taste your food with attention. You take slow bites. And suddenly you feel something new, something surprising. You feel your mind slowing down. After breakfast, you get ready to leave. You choose your clothes. You listen to the sound of the water when you wash your face. You notice the mirror. You notice your expression. You ask yourself quietly, how do I want to feel today? Not, what do I need to finish? Not, who will I meet today? Not, what if something goes wrong? But a much kinder question, how do I want to feel today? You say softly, calm, steady, present. Maybe you are not calm yet. Maybe you are not steady yet. Maybe you are not present yet. But you set this intention. And an intention is like a small light you carry in your pocket. It doesn't change the world outside, but it changes the way you walk through it. When you step outside, the air feels different. Maybe it is warm. Maybe it is cold. Maybe the sky is bright. Maybe it is gray. But the world is awake now, and you are stepping into it with a quiet promise to yourself. You begin walking or driving or waiting for the bus. You look around slowly, and you notice things you usually ignore: trees, people, shops, sounds, movements. And this noticing, this simple act of paying attention, begins to pull you away from stress and into the present moment. As you move through your morning, you think about stress in a new way. Stress is not always loud. Stress is not always dramatic. Sometimes stress is just a soft, constant whisper. It tells you that you are behind. It tells you that you are not doing enough. It tells you that something bad might happen. And sometimes you listen to this whisper without even knowing you are listening. But not today. Today you want to learn. Today you want to understand. Today you want to practice simple ways to calm your mind so you can speak English with more focus, think more clearly, and move through the world with more control. You arrive at your place of work or study. The day begins like any other, but something inside you feels slightly different. You are more present. You are more awake. But still, the small pressure in your chest has not fully gone away. You sit down, and you feel that not again. You feel the long list of things you need to do. You feel the expectations people have of you. You feel the pressure you put on yourself. Then you hear a small sound, maybe a message notification, maybe someone calling your name, maybe a task you need to start. And suddenly, stress grows again. But this time, instead of letting it grow silently, you decide to notice it. You say in your mind, "This is stress." You don't run from it. You don't fight it. You simply name it. And naming a feeling is like turning on a light in a dark room. The darkness loses some of its power. You take a slow breath and remind yourself, "I am here. I am breathing. I am safe. This moment is only one moment." And with that one breath, you feel your shoulders soften just a little. As the hours pass, the normal busyness of the day surrounds you. People talking, phones ringing, tasks coming one after another. The energy around you feels like a fast river, and you feel yourself trying to swim in it. But many times, stress does not come from the river itself. It comes from fighting it. So you let yourself float for a moment. You stop trying to control everything. You simply do the next small thing. And suddenly, everything feels a little lighter. Later, during a short break, you sit alone or maybe with quiet company. This is the moment when you begin to understand something important. Stress is not only in your environment. Stress is in your breath. Stress is in your habits. Stress is in your stories. And most stress can be softened by small actions. You don't need big solutions. You need small, simple steps. And each step is like a gentle stone path that leads you toward peace. You breathe slowly again, noticing the feeling of air entering your body. You look at your hands resting on your lap. You observe the colors around you. And then you feel something, an idea, a realization. You understand that you do not need to push yourself so hard all the time. You do not need to be perfect. You do not need to be fast. You need to be present, calm, kind to yourself. You feel a small wave of relief inside your chest. Not complete relief, but a beginning. This is your moment of transformation for today. A gentle transformation. A quiet shift. You understand that stress loses power when you slow down, when you breathe, when you notice, when you choose to respond instead of react. And as you return to your tasks, to your responsibilities, to your day, you carry this understanding like a soft blanket around your shoulders. When the day begins to move toward afternoon, you reflect on your morning. You think about how many moments you spent rushing without noticing. And you think about how many moments you slowed down and felt better. You realize something important. Calm is not something you find by accident. Calm is something you create. And this becomes your takeaway for today. Simple actions can reduce stress in powerful ways. Breathing, noticing, slowing down, asking gentle questions, being present. These are small tools, but small tools can change your entire day. As the afternoon begins, you feel the day settling into its normal rhythm. The sun is higher now, the air is warmer, the world feels more awake and louder than it was in the morning. You look around and notice how fast everything moves. People rushing, cars honking, messages coming in, tasks piling up. And in the middle of all this movement, you feel something inside you beginning to rise again. It is stress, slow and steady, like water filling a cup. It rises quietly, and you don't always see it until the cup is almost full. But now you are learning to feel it earlier. You are learning to notice the signs, the small moments, the changes in your breath, the thoughts that become too heavy. Today, because you are paying attention, you catch it before it becomes too much. You sit down for a moment, even if it is just on a simple chair or a bench or a quiet corner. You let your eyes rest on something still, a tree outside the window, a cup on the table, the space in front of you. You take one slow breath, then another. And with each breath, you feel your mind soften. This simple pause is like giving your body permission to rest. It is like telling yourself you don't have to hold everything at once. And suddenly, the weight you carry feels a little lighter. But of course, life continues. Someone calls your name. A new task appears. You stand up again, and the world pulls you back into its rhythm. You want to stay calm, but the challenges start showing up one by one. Maybe it is a deadline. Maybe it is a mistake you must fix. Maybe it is a misunderstanding with someone. Maybe it is simply too many things happening at the same time. And as these challenges appear, you feel something inside you tighten again. Your shoulders lift. Your breath becomes shorter. Your thoughts become faster. You feel the familiar pressure growing inside your chest. But this time, something different happens. Instead of being pulled under the pressure, instead of letting stress take control, you remember something from this morning, your intention. You remember the question you asked yourself, how do I want to feel today? And you remember your quiet answer, calm, steady, present. So you pause for 2 seconds. Only 2 seconds. You close your eyes softly, and in your mind you say the word calm like a whisper. And those 2 seconds become your anchor. They don't solve everything, but they keep you from falling into the fast, stressful flow of the day. Hours pass, and your mind feels tired. Not physically tired, but tired from thinking, from planning, from worrying. This is the hidden kind of stress that many people carry without seeing it. The stress of the mind. The stress of thinking too much. The stress of creating problems that don't exist yet. And when you feel this mental tiredness, a small voice inside you says, take a break. But another voice answers, you don't have time. This second voice is familiar. It is the voice many people listen to every day. It is the voice that keeps you going even when you need rest. It is the voice that tells you to push harder, even when you have nothing left to give. But today, you make a new choice. You say, yes, I do have time. I have 1 minute. And you take that 1 minute, even if it feels small or silly or strange. You step away from your work. You walk slowly to a quiet corner. You close your eyes, breathe in, breathe out. You relax your jaw, your shoulders, your hands. And you let your thoughts settle, one by one, like snow falling slowly to the ground. This 1 minute becomes a gift to yourself. You feel something inside you loosen. You feel your mind becoming clearer. Then you return to your tasks, and something surprising happens. You work faster. You work better. You think more clearly. And you begin to understand something important. Rest is not a waste of time. Rest is a tool. Rest gives you energy. Rest gives you clarity. When you take small breaks, your mind becomes stronger, not weaker. This realization makes you smile to yourself quietly. You feel proud, not because you finished everything, but because you took care of your mental space. Later in the afternoon, you face another challenge. This one is emotional. Maybe someone says something that hurts you a little. Maybe a message brings bad news. Maybe you remember something painful from the past. Maybe you feel embarrassed or misunderstood. Emotional stress is different from physical or mental stress. Emotional stress feels personal. It feels heavy in the heart. It feels like a quiet sadness or worry that sits behind your thoughts. And when this emotional stress appears, you feel yourself wanting to hide from it, or push it away, or ignore it. But you remember what you learned earlier: naming a feeling weakens its power. So you pause and say softly in your mind, "This is sadness," or "This is worry," or "This is fear." You don't push it away. You don't judge yourself. You don't pretend everything is fine. You simply name it, and suddenly, the emotion becomes smaller. You feel more in control. You understand that feelings pass like clouds in the sky. They do not last forever. They move, they change, they drift away. And this understanding helps you breathe more deeply. The afternoon continues, and now you begin to explore something new: the story behind your stress. You wonder, why do I feel this way today? Maybe it is something small. Maybe it is something big. Maybe it is not even about today, but about something from your past that weighs on you. You explore your thoughts gently. You don't force answers. You simply walk through your mind as if you are walking through a quiet forest, looking around, noticing the shapes of your thoughts. Then you begin to see something important. Stress often comes from expectations. Expectations you place on yourself. Expectations others place on you. Expectations that are invisible but heavy. You realize that you often tell yourself you must finish everything, be perfect, never make mistakes, never rest. And these expectations create pressure that grows and grows. But now you begin to question these expectations. You ask yourself softly, do I really need to be perfect? The answer is no. Do I really need to finish everything today? Again, no. Do I need to carry all this pressure by myself? No. And this realization feels like opening a window and letting fresh air into a room that has been closed for too long. You let out a slow breath and you decide to be kinder to yourself. You decide to lower the expectations that hurt you. You decide to allow mistakes, to allow rest, to allow imperfection. And this decision becomes a turning point in your day. You feel lighter. You feel more human. You feel more free. As the day moves toward evening, you look back on the afternoon and notice how much you learned about yourself. You learned that stress does not only come from outside. It comes from the stories you tell yourself, the expectations you hold, the habits you create. You learned that small pauses can change your whole direction. You learned that emotional stress becomes softer when you name it. You learned that mental stress becomes lighter when you rest. You learned that physical stress becomes calmer when you breathe. And now, at the end of this section, you reflect on one more important idea. You do not need to fight stress. You need to understand it. When you understand stress, where it comes from, how it grows, how it speaks to you, you gain control. And when you gain control, the weight you carry becomes easier to hold. Your takeaway from Section 2 is simple but powerful. Stress loses its power when you notice it early and respond with kindness, presence, and small moments of rest. The evening begins softly, almost without you noticing. The sky outside your window slowly changes from bright to warm to gentle shades of orange and blue. The air feels different now, a little cooler, a little slower. People around you begin to finish their tasks, pack their bags, check messages one last time, and prepare to leave. And as this slow shift happens around you, you feel something shift inside you as well. You feel the long day behind you. You feel the small tiredness that lives in your shoulders and your back. You feel the thoughts that have been working since morning. But you also feel a quiet strength growing inside you, a strength you didn't notice before. This strength comes from your small choices today, your breathing, your pauses, your moments of calm. These small actions, these tiny decisions, slowly change the shape of your day. You step outside or begin your journey back home. The world feels different in the evening. People move a little slower, the streets look more peaceful, the noise becomes softer. As you walk or sit in a bus or drive your car, you notice the rhythm of the world calming down. And with every step or every movement, your body begins to relax in a natural, gentle way. You feel the tension in your chest fade just a little. You feel your breath become deeper. You feel your mind beginning to open again after a long day of thinking, planning, and holding on to so many responsibilities. But inside this calm, you begin to notice something else, something that many people feel when they finally slow down. You notice the thoughts you pushed away earlier. The worries you didn't have time to think about. The emotions you didn't want to face. They return quietly, like soft footsteps behind you. They come not to hurt you, but to be seen. These quiet thoughts are often the root of stress, the deeper worries we hide under our busy actions. And as they rise again in the evening, you realize it is time to understand them, not avoid them. You walk slowly and think about the patterns in your day. You think about the pressure you felt this morning, the stress that visited you in the afternoon, and the calm moments you created. You begin to see a story forming, a story about how stress follows you, how you react to it, how you try to control it, and how you sometimes let it control you. But today, this story feels different. Today, you feel more aware. You feel more connected to your own mind. You feel more in control of your reactions. And this small shift creates something powerful inside you, a sense of confidence. As you move through the evening, you arrive at a moment that feels almost like a pause in time. Maybe you stop to look at the sky. Maybe you notice children playing. Maybe you hear laughter from a group of friends. Maybe you feel the wind on your face. Maybe you see the warm lights coming on in the houses around you. And as you see these simple things, you realize that life is full of small details that you miss when you rush. These small details are the places where calm lives. These tiny moments are the bridges between stress and peace. They are always there, waiting for you to notice them. You begin to understand that stress grows in the spaces where we stop noticing the beauty of the world. When we forget to see. When we forget to breathe. When we forget to slow down. But now, standing here in the soft light of evening, you remember. You remember that calm is not something you search for far away. Calm is something you find in the soft details around you. Calm lives in the present moment. When you arrive home or step into your quiet space, you feel a shift in energy. Home feels like a place where you can finally let go of the day. You take off your shoes, put your bag down, and breathe out deeply. This simple act, arriving, brings your mind and body into the same place again. All day long, your mind was moving faster than your body. But now, in this moment, everything comes together. You sit down for a moment, maybe on your bed, maybe on your couch, maybe by a window, and you simply breathe. As you sit in this quiet space, you begin to notice thoughts rising again. Thoughts about the future. Thoughts about things you haven't finished. Thoughts about mistakes. Thoughts about what people think of you. Thoughts about the pressure to improve, the pressure to learn faster, the pressure to be better. These thoughts come softly at first, then more loudly. They create a small tension in your mind. But this time, instead of letting these thoughts fill your whole body with stress, you remember something powerful. You can talk to your thoughts. You close your eyes and take a slow breath. You say to yourself, I hear you. You say, I know you are trying to protect me. Because you understand something important now, stress is not the enemy. Stress is a signal. Stress is your mind trying to help you. Stress is your body trying to keep you safe. But sometimes stress becomes too loud, too strong, too continuous. Sometimes stress forgets that you need rest too. So you speak to your stress softly. You say, thank you. but I am safe now. I can slow down. I can rest. And as you speak to your own mind in this calm, gentle way, you feel your thoughts beginning to settle, like waves becoming soft ripples on a quiet shore. You feel the pressure inside your chest melt slowly. Not completely, but enough for you to breathe more easily. You decide to prepare a simple dinner or a warm drink. Your movements are slow now. Peaceful. Natural. You cut vegetables or stir something warm or pour water into a cup. And as you do these small actions, you feel grounded. You feel present. You feel connected to your body again. These small everyday moments, cooking, preparing, cleaning, become opportunities to calm your mind. You understand now that stress grows in the spaces where your mind is busy, but your body is still. But when your hands move in simple, quiet actions, your mind finds rest. As you eat or drink, you reflect on your day. You notice the moments where stress took over. You notice the moments where you responded with awareness. You notice the moments where you were kind to yourself. And you begin to see a pattern forming inside you. You begin to understand that stress does not disappear in one moment. Stress melts slowly through consistent small actions. You finish your meal and sit with yourself for a moment. Maybe you look out the window. Maybe you listen to soft sounds around you. Maybe you close your eyes. And then you begin to explore something deeper, your relationship with yourself. Stress often grows when you speak to yourself in a harsh, demanding way. When you tell yourself you must always be strong, always be fast, always be productive, always be perfect. But now, as the evening grows quiet, you ask yourself a new question. What if I spoke to myself the way I speak to someone I care about? You imagine someone who is tired, stressed, overwhelmed. You imagine how gently you would speak to them. You imagine the kind words you would choose. You imagine the calm tone you would use. And then you understand something powerful. You deserve that same kindness. You deserve that same tone. You deserve the same care you offer to others. This realization touches something deep inside you. You feel a softness in your heart. You feel warmth, like a small light turning on inside your chest. This is the beginning of self-compassion. You take a slow breath and whisper to yourself, it's okay. You say, I'm doing my best. You say, I am learning. You say, I don't need to be perfect. And these words feel like medicine. They feel like something you needed to hear for a long time. They feel like something many people need to hear but never say to themselves. And in this moment, you understand that stress becomes lighter when you speak to yourself with kindness instead of judgment. The evening grows deeper now. You feel your energy softening. You decide to take a small walk inside your home or step outside for fresh air. The world is quieter. The lights are softer. And as you move slowly, you feel your stress dissolving little by little. You begin to appreciate the rhythm of the night, the stillness, the quiet, the gentle invitation to rest. Then you feel something big, something almost like a realization, a truth rising inside you. You understand that the power to reduce stress does not come from changing your entire life. It comes from moments. Small, gentle, human moments. These moments are simple, but they are full of meaning. A breath, a pause, a quiet walk, a kind word, a soft light, a warm drink, a slow thought. These moments connect you back to yourself. As the evening prepares to close, you take one more deep breath. You feel your body relaxing into the night. You feel your thoughts becoming slower. You feel your heart becoming lighter. And your takeaway from Section 3 becomes clear. Calm is created in small moments. When you slow down, notice your surroundings, speak kindly to yourself, and breathe with intention, you create peace one moment at a time. The night arrives slowly, gently, the way a soft blanket settles over a tired body. The sky outside your window becomes deep and quiet, a dark canvas sprinkled with small stars or hidden behind soft clouds. The noises of the day begin to fade, the honking cars, the busy footsteps, the loud conversations, the ringing phones. The world becomes slower, calmer, more peaceful. And as the world softens, you feel something inside you soften too. The night is not just a time to sleep. It is a time to reflect, a time to understand, a time to let go of the parts of the day that still feel heavy. The night teaches us in a quiet voice, and tonight, you are ready to listen. You walk into your room or your favorite quiet space, and you notice the temperature of the air. Maybe it is cool against your skin. Maybe it is warm and relaxing. You notice the dim light, the stillness of the room, the feeling of calm that slowly fills the space. The evening had been a slow journey toward peace, but night brings a different kind of calm, a deeper one, a more honest one. Night does not ask you to be strong. Night does not ask you to work fast. Night asks only one thing: be here now. You sit down or lie down gently, letting your body rest, letting each muscle relax without effort. You take one slow breath and feel your chest rise and fall like a small wave on a quiet ocean. You feel your shoulders dropping, your hands softening, your jaw loosening. Stress has been holding these parts of you all day, but now, in the softness of night, your body begins to let go. It feels natural. It feels right. It feels like something your body has been waiting for. As you sink into this peaceful space, your mind begins to replay the day, not the tasks, not the mistakes, not the stress, but the moments. The small moments of calm you created. The breaths you took. The kind words you whispered to yourself. The way you slowed down. The way you noticed the sky, the people, the little details. You begin to understand that the day was not perfect, and it didn't need to be. It was human. And in those human moments, you found small pieces of peace. The night gives you space to look at your day with gentle eyes. You recall the moments when stress tried to control you, and you remember how you responded. Not perfectly, but consciously. You remember how you paused instead of rushing. How you breathed instead of panicking. How you spoke kindly to yourself instead of judging yourself. And as you think about these moments, a warm feeling fills your chest, something like pride, something like gratitude. You realize you made progress today, even if no one else sees it. You feel that progress inside your heart. But as you rest there, something else rises from the quiet. A deeper truth, a deeper understanding. You begin to see that stress is not just a problem to solve. Stress is a teacher. Stress shows you where you are trying too hard. Stress shows you where you are not listening to your body. Stress shows you the stories you tell yourself that may not be true. Stress shows you the places inside you that need kindness, not pressure. And tonight, as you rest in the softness of the dark, you understand that every stressful moment today was a message, a lesson, a gentle push toward a calmer life. You think about the expectations you carry. Expectations to be good, to be strong, to be productive, to learn fast, to speak English perfectly, to make no mistakes. You think about how these expectations create invisible pressure. You think about how this pressure turns into stress. But now, with the quiet wisdom of night around you, you begin to question these expectations. You ask yourself softly, do I really need to be perfect to be happy? And deep inside you, a warm voice answers, no, you ask, do I need to rush through life? And the voice says, no, you ask, do I need to carry all this weight alone? And the voice says, no. This voice, the voice inside you, is clearer at night. It is honest. It is calm. It is kind. And tonight, you learn to listen to it again. You begin to understand that this quiet voice has always been there, but during the day, stress made it hard to hear. Now, in the peace of night, you allow this voice to guide you. You allow it to remind you that you are doing your best. You allow it to remind you that you deserve rest. You allow it to remind you that you are enough, exactly as you are. You lie down fully now, perhaps on your bed, perhaps on a mat, perhaps on a soft carpet. You stretch your legs gently, and you let your body sink deeper into comfort. You take another slow breath, feeling the air move in and out. And as you breathe, your mind begins to drift into gentle reflections. You think about the idea of balance. You think about how life needs both movement and stillness. You think about how stress happens when you forget the stillness. And you understand something very important. Stillness is not the opposite of productivity. Stillness is part of productivity. When you rest, you grow. When you pause, you learn. When you breathe, you reset. The night, with all its silence and softness, becomes your guide. It teaches you that calm is not far away. Calm is always inside you, waiting behind the noise of the day. You begin to explore this calm, letting it fill your body from your head to your toes. You feel your breath slowing even more. You feel your heartbeat becoming gentle. You feel your thoughts becoming light, like feathers floating in the air. And in this peaceful state, you allow yourself to let go of everything that does not belong to this moment. You let go of the stress from the morning. You let go of the pressure from the afternoon. You let go of the worries from the evening. You let go of the expectations that exhausted you. You let go of the fear of making mistakes. You let go of the thought that you must always be strong. You release all these things into the night, letting them drift away like smoke rising into a dark sky. You feel lighter with each release. You feel clearer. You feel more present. You feel more like yourself. Then something beautiful happens. As you let go, new feelings appear in the empty space inside you: calm, softness, gratitude, hope. These feelings fill you slowly, like warm light spreading through a dark room. You feel grateful for the small moments of peace today. You feel grateful for the breath in your lungs. You feel grateful for the gentle wisdom of the night. You feel grateful for your journey, for the challenges that teach you, for the progress you make without even noticing. You close your eyes more fully now, and you allow yourself to imagine something, a version of yourself who lives with less stress, a version of yourself who moves through life with calm steps and a calm mind. You imagine waking up in the morning with a softer heart. You imagine working with ease. You imagine speaking English with confidence because your mind is clear and your breath is steady. You imagine walking through your day without rushing, without fear, without heavy pressure. And as you imagine this version of yourself, you realize something powerful. This calm, confident version of you is not far away. This version is already growing inside you, little by little, through the choices you make. The night teaches you many things, but the most important lesson is this: you are capable of creating peace in your life. Not through big, dramatic changes, but through small, gentle steps, breathing, noticing, slowing down, speaking kindly to yourself, letting go, resting with intention. These steps might seem small, but together, they create a new way of living. You take one more deep breath, feeling it fill your lungs, feeling it expand your chest, feeling it release tension. You breathe out, long and soft. And in this moment, you feel a quiet transformation inside you, a feeling of acceptance, a feeling of trust, a feeling of deep calm that the night has given you. You understand now that even on stressful days, you have the power to end the day with peace. Your takeaway from Section 4 is clear and gentle. The night teaches you to let go, to rest, to listen to your inner voice, and to accept yourself without pressure. Stress loses its power when you allow yourself to slow down and simply be. The night slowly releases its hold, and before you open your eyes, you feel the soft silence of early morning surrounding you. It is the kind of silence that feels like a gentle beginning, a new page, a quiet invitation. You take a slow breath before moving, and in this gentle breath, you feel something different from yesterday. You feel a little lighter, a little clearer, a little more ready to start again. Stress may still live somewhere inside you, but today, you wake up with more tools, more understanding, more calm. And as your eyes open to the soft light of morning, you know that this day will be different, not because the world has changed, but because you have changed. You slowly sit up and let your feet touch the floor. The coolness of the ground feels grounding, like the earth is greeting you softly. Yesterday taught you something important. You do not need to wait until you are overwhelmed to take care of yourself. You do not need to carry stress alone. You can begin your day with calm, with intention, with small moments of peace. And today, as the morning light grows stronger, you decide to begin not with rushing, not with stress, not with fear, but with gentleness. You stand and stretch your arms in a slow, easy motion. You feel your muscles waking up. You feel the small areas of tension that remained from yesterday, and as you stretch, you feel those areas soften. It is simple. It is small. But it matters. And you understand that these tiny actions, these soft choices, shape the way your day unfolds. You walk to the kitchen, and the world is still quiet. Maybe the sun is rising outside. Maybe the air is cool. Maybe the room carries the calm echo of the night. You pour water into a cup or prepare a warm drink. You hold it in your hands, feeling the warmth or the coolness, noticing the texture of the cup, noticing the way the steam rises or the way the water moves. You take one slow sip, and the taste feels like a soft reminder to stay present. You look around your space and appreciate the simple beauty of the morning. And in this small moment, you feel something powerful. Stress cannot grow in a mind that is present, gentle, and calm. You think about the day ahead. Maybe there are things you must finish. Maybe there are people you will meet. Maybe there are conversations that make you nervous or tasks that feel heavy. But instead of overwhelming yourself with all these thoughts at once, you breathe. You say softly, one thing at a time. And this becomes your morning promise. You will walk through your day step by step, breath by breath, moment by moment. As you get ready to leave your home, you look into the mirror, not to judge yourself, not to find mistakes, but to see yourself as you are. You look at your eyes. You look at your expression. You look at the person staring back at you. And in that reflection, you see someone who is learning, someone who is growing, someone who is trying. You smile gently, not because everything is perfect, but because you are proud of who you are becoming. You step outside, and the air greets you with a fresh embrace. You begin walking or driving or waiting for transportation. But today, something is different. You are aware. You notice the way the sky looks. You notice the movement of the trees. You notice the sound of footsteps around you. You notice the faces of people, each one carrying their own invisible world of thoughts and feelings. And you realize again that everyone carries stress. Everyone carries pressure. You are not alone. And this simple truth brings comfort to your heart. As you move through the morning, you feel small waves of stress begin to rise. Maybe someone says something that makes you tense. Maybe a task seems bigger than you expected. Maybe you feel the familiar pressure in your chest. But this time, you catch it early. You pause for 2 seconds. You breathe. You relax your shoulders. You soften your jaw. You speak to yourself the way you would speak to a friend. You say, "It's okay. I can handle this slowly." And with these small actions, stress begins to melt again. You continue through your day, and soon, you reach a moment when everything seems to speed up again. People ask for things. Messages come in. Plans change. Tasks multiply. The world becomes loud and fast. And this is the moment when stress usually grows big and strong. But not today. Today you have learned something new. Today you have practiced. Today you have open space inside your mind for calm to live. So instead of pushing yourself harder, you choose something different. You step away for 10 seconds. Only 10. You close your eyes. You breathe in slowly. You breathe out softly. These 10 seconds become your reset button. 10 seconds to return to yourself. 10 seconds to return to the present. 10 seconds to remember that you do not need to control everything. As the day continues, you notice something wonderful. Stress still rises, but you rise with more strength. Stress still speaks, but you respond with more clarity. Stress still visits, but it no longer stays as long. This is your progress. This is your growth. This is your power. Later in the day, you face a challenge that tests your new calm. Maybe it is a difficult situation. Maybe it is an unexpected problem. Maybe it is someone who feels stressed themselves and brings that stress to you. You feel your heart beat faster. You feel your mind begin to worry. You feel your breath shorten. But then, almost without thinking, you remember what you learned last night, the night that taught you to let go, to rest, to listen to your inner voice. You whisper to yourself, slow down. And you do. You breathe. You look at the situation with clear eyes. You take it step by step. And in that moment, you understand something important. Calm is a skill. A real skill. A skill you can learn. A skill you are already learning. You feel yourself moving through the situation with more ease. You feel your mind settling. You feel your heart softening. And when the challenge finally passes, you realize that you handled it better than you expected. You feel proud of your progress. In the late afternoon, you take a break. Maybe you sit by a window. Maybe you take a short walk. Maybe you just breathe in the quiet air. You let the memories of the day float through your mind, the moments of stress, the moments of calm, the moments when you reacted with kindness, the moments when you learned something new about yourself. You realize how different you feel compared to yesterday. Not because the world changed, but because you changed inside. You begin to understand something deeper. Stress reduction is not about removing stress from your life. It is about strengthening your ability to stay calm inside stress. You are learning to be the calm inside the storm. You are learning to be steady even when life moves quickly. You are learning to be gentle even when things feel heavy. You are learning to breathe even when you feel pressure. And this understanding changes everything. Evening arrives again. But this evening feels different from the last one. Tonight, you enter your home with more peace. You move more softly. You speak more gently. Your thoughts feel clearer. You prepare a small meal or sit in a comfortable space. And as you relax, you reflect on the 2 days you walked through in this long story, the challenges, the stress, the calm, the moments of growth. You realize that stress will still come. Stress will still appear in your mornings, your afternoons, your evenings. But now you are not afraid. Now you have tools. You have awareness. You have kindness. You have breath. You have presence. And most importantly, you have learned that your inner world matters. Your inner peace matters. As night settles again, you prepare for rest. You lie down with gentleness and close your eyes. And before sleep arrives, you whisper to yourself the words that you have learned through this journey. I am doing my best. I can handle life one moment at a time. Stress does not control me. I am learning to live with calm, with kindness, with presence. These simple words become a soft, warm light inside your heart. And finally, as you breathe deeply, slowly, peacefully, you understand the greatest lesson of all. Reducing stress is not about changing your life. It is about changing the way you move through your life. Point one breath, point one step, point one gentle moment at a time. Your takeaway from Section 5, and from this entire journey, is clear. Calm is a practice. Calm is a choice. Calm is possible for you. Every moment is a new beginning, and peace is always one breath away. The next morning arrives not with noise, not with pressure, and not with the rush of responsibilities, but with a quiet feeling of possibility. The light outside is soft, like a gentle hand touching your shoulder and inviting you to start another new day. You open your eyes slowly, breathing deeply, letting the world return to you one sound at a time. You do not jump out of bed. You do not hurry. You do not fill your mind with your long list of things to do. Instead, you rest for one extra moment, enjoying the soft rhythm of your breath. And in that moment, you feel something that surprises you. You feel calm without trying. This calm is not perfect, not complete, not magical, but it is real. It is quiet. It is yours. And you know that this calm has grown because of the choices you have been practicing. You rise from your bed and step softly into your morning routine. Your movements feel smoother now. Your thoughts feel clearer. Your breathing feels easier. You realize that your body remembers the calm you practiced yesterday. Your mind remembers the soft ways you spoke to yourself. Your heart remembers the gentle lessons of the night. Stress has not disappeared from your life, but today it does not sit as heavily on your shoulders. Today, you feel stronger, more grounded, more aware of the small moments that shape your day. You walk to the kitchen again, and you notice something simple. The sounds of the morning feel less sharp. The small noises no longer irritate you. The tiny inconveniences no longer bother you. You pour water into a cup, and you watch the steam rise. You drink slowly, enjoying each sip, letting your body wake up naturally. You do not rush this moment. You do not multitask. You simply are. This is part of your practice now, choosing presence over pressure. As you prepare to leave your home, you step outside with a steady breath. The world around you looks almost the same as yesterday, yet you see it differently. You notice the brightness of the sky, the movement of the leaves, the distant sound of traffic, the feeling of fresh air touching your face. Stress loses power when you start noticing the world as it really is, not as you fear it might be. You realize that your surroundings are full of beauty you have been too busy to see. And as you walk, you feel your steps becoming more relaxed, more natural, more connected to the rhythm of the day. Your journey takes you through familiar places, streets you always walk, buildings you always pass, faces you sometimes notice, but rarely think about. But today, you seem to see everything through a softer lens. You see people walking quickly, holding their morning coffee, looking tired or worried or lost in thought. You see people waiting for buses with eyes full of responsibilities. You see workers preparing shops, students rushing with heavy backpacks, parents holding the hands of children who move with curious excitement. And you understand something powerful. Everyone carries something. Everyone has stress. Everyone has worries. Everyone has moments when they feel lost, overwhelmed, or tired. And because you see this so clearly, something inside you becomes gentler toward them and toward yourself. You reach your workplace or school, and the day begins again with familiar responsibilities. But today, everything feels different because you are different. When stress rises, you notice it early. When your breath becomes tight, you widen it gently. When your thoughts begin to run too fast, you catch them before they take control. You pause. You breathe. You soften your body. These small actions have become tools you carry with you everywhere. As the hours pass, you face a challenge you were not expecting. Maybe someone speaks to you sharply. Maybe a problem appears out of nowhere. Maybe a task becomes more complicated than you imagined. Immediately, you feel your heart speed up. You feel your breath shorten. You feel your thoughts start to jump. What if I fail? What if I cannot do this? What if everything goes wrong? These thoughts feel familiar. These thoughts used to control you. But not today. Today, you recognize them. You step away for a moment. You breathe in through your nose, letting your lungs expand. You breathe out slowly, letting your shoulders soften. You say gently in your mind, "This is stress. It is here, but it will pass." And with each slow breath, the heavy feeling in your chest becomes lighter. The thoughts become quieter. The problem becomes clearer. And you handle the moment with more peace than you have ever handled it before. Later, during a short break, you sit near a window or outside where the air feels fresh. You let your mind rest. You look at the world with calm curiosity. You imagine your stress as a small cloud drifting across the sky. It moves. It changes shape. It never stays forever. And this simple image helps you understand something deep. You do not need to hold on to stress. You can let it drift. You can let it pass. You can let it go. As the day continues, you speak to others with a softer tone. You listen more deeply. You answer more gently. You feel yourself becoming more patient, not because everything is easy, but because you are calmer inside. You begin to see how your calm affects others. Someone who is stressed talks to you, and instead of becoming stressed too, your calm spreads into the conversation. Someone who feels anxious near you begins to breathe more naturally because your energy feels peaceful. You notice how your calm has the power to change the environment around you. You didn't force it. You didn't plan it. It simply happened because you took care of your inner world. In the afternoon, you walk for a few minutes, maybe just outside your building or around a small park or along a simple sidewalk. And as you walk, you think about the journey you've been on. You think about the morning when stress felt heavy. You think about the night when calm finally reached you. You think about the tools you practiced, breathing, noticing, pausing, speaking kindly to yourself. And you realize that you are becoming someone new, someone more aware, someone more gentle, someone more connected to themselves. This walk becomes a moment of exploration. You begin to explore your thoughts more deeply. You ask yourself, what makes me feel stressed most often? What stories do I tell myself when I feel pressure? What expectations do I carry that are too heavy? What small habits help me feel calm? These questions open doors inside you, and you walk through them slowly, with curiosity instead of fear. You understand that stress is not the enemy. Stress is information. Stress is a signal. Stress is an invitation to rest, to reflect, to change, to grow. You return to your tasks with a new sense of clarity. And when small problems appear, they do not feel like mountains anymore. They feel like bumps in the road, bumps you can step over without falling. You begin to trust yourself more. You begin to feel proud of the person you are becoming. You begin to see that you are capable of living with calm even when the world feels chaotic. As evening approaches again, your day begins to slow down naturally. You gather your things. You step outside. The sky shows soft colors, painted by the sunset. You feel the air change around you. And as you walk home or travel home, you feel a quiet confidence growing inside you. You survived another day. You handled stress with more strength. You made choices that supported your well-being. And now you can rest. When you arrive home, your space feels familiar and warm. You take off your shoes. You sit down for a moment, just breathing, just relaxing, just being present. You prepare a simple meal, and as you cook, you notice how peaceful this ordinary moment feels. You notice how your hands move calmly. You notice how the warmth of the food feels comforting. You notice how your mind is not racing, but resting. After dinner, you take a short moment for yourself. Maybe you read. Maybe you listen to soft music. Maybe you stretch. Maybe you sit quietly by a window. And in this moment of quiet, you realize that stress does not control you anymore. It still comes. It still appears. But now you decide how to respond. You have learned to meet stress with awareness, with breath, with patience, with kindness. As the night returns, you prepare for rest. You lie down again, feeling your body relax into the bed, feeling the weight of the day slowly melt away. And before you close your eyes, you reflect on one final truth. Calm is not something you find once and keep forever. Calm is something you practice every day, every moment, every breath. Each choice you make brings you closer to calm or closer to stress. And today, you chose calm again and again. You whisper to yourself softly, I am learning. I am growing. I can live with peace. And with these gentle words, you close your eyes and drift into rest, knowing that tomorrow, You will continue this journey one breath, one moment, one day at a time. Your takeaway from Section 6 is simple and powerful. Walking toward a calmer life is not about perfection. It is about small, gentle choices repeated with love and awareness. The sun rises again, slowly and gently, as if it is taking its time, just like you have learned to do. You wake up without the sharp jump you used to feel, without the heavy weight of stress pushing on your chest. Instead, you open your eyes with a softness that surprises you. You lie still for a moment, letting your mind settle into the new day. The room around you is quiet, and the world feels peaceful before the day begins. You stretch your arms slowly, letting your body move with ease, and you feel grateful for this simple moment of calm. In this early silence, you begin to understand that peace is not something outside of you. It already lives inside you, waiting for you to notice it. You rise from your bed and walk toward the window. When you look outside, the world seems peaceful in its own quiet way. You see the soft colors of morning, hear a few birds singing, and feel a coolness in the air that feels refreshing. The moment feels like a gentle reminder that every day is a fresh beginning. You stand there for a moment, breathing slowly, noticing how your chest rises and falls with each breath. And as you breathe, you feel a message forming inside you. Today, I choose peace. You take this feeling with you as you walk to the kitchen. Your movements feel steady, unhurried, intentional. You pour yourself a warm drink and hold the cup with both hands, letting the warmth calm your fingers, your mind, your heart. You take a slow sip and feel the warmth spread through your body. You do not rush. You do not think about the whole day at once. You focus only on this one sip, this one moment. And this simple practice becomes your first act of peace. As you prepare for the day, you think about the journey you have been on, the moments of stress, the moments of calm, the learning, the breathing, the gentle choices. You realize now that your relationship with stress has changed. It no longer feels like a storm that controls your life. It feels more like weather, sometimes heavy, sometimes light, sometimes loud, sometimes quiet, but always passing. You know now that you can handle it because you have learned how to return to yourself. You step outside, and the world greets you with movement. Cars pass. People hurry. Life continues at its usual speed. But today, you walk at your own pace. You do not try to match the fast rhythm of the world. You choose your own calm rhythm. You feel your feet touching the ground with each step. You feel the air moving around you. You hear the sounds of morning life. And even though the world is busy, you carry a quiet inner stillness that keeps you grounded. On your way to your responsibilities, you notice people again, the tired eyes, the hurried steps, the worried expressions. And for a moment, you feel grateful because you know now that every person you see is carrying something inside them. You are learning to move through life with more compassion, with more understanding, with more patience. You feel yourself becoming a kinder presence in the world, and this makes you feel peaceful in a way that goes deeper than words. When you arrive at your workplace or your school, you settle into your tasks. But today, you begin with one deep, slow breath before doing anything else. You breathe in gently, letting your lungs fill with fresh air. You breathe out slowly, letting stress leave your body. And this breath becomes your silent promise to stay present today, no matter what happens. Everything begins smoothly, but then a small problem appears, maybe a mistake, maybe a sudden change, maybe something unexpected that makes your mind tighten. You feel stress rise inside you, just like it used to. You feel your heart beat a little faster. You feel the old thoughts begin to whisper, "What if this goes wrong? What if I can't handle it?" But instead of panicking, you pause. You breathe. You relax your shoulders. And you say softly in your mind, "I can choose my response." This single moment of awareness changes everything. You look at the problem again, but now with clarity. You take one step at a time. You use the tools you've learned. You speak with calmness. And slowly, the problem becomes smaller, easier, lighter. When it is finally solved, you feel a quiet sense of victory, not because the problem was big, but because you stayed in control of yourself. Later in the day, you take a short break. You sit outside or near a window, looking at the sky. You feel the warm or cool air on your skin. You listen to the sounds around you. You allow yourself to be fully present. And while you sit there, something beautiful happens inside you. You begin to feel connected to a deeper part of yourself, a part that has always been there but was hidden behind noise and stress. You begin to sense a quiet inner place, a place where your worries soften, your fears quiet down, and your breath becomes easy. This inner place feels like a gentle room inside your heart, a room where you can rest whenever the world becomes too loud. You realize that this inner place has always existed. You simply never had the tools to reach it. But now, with your breath, your awareness, your gentle choices, you can return to it anytime. As your break continues, you let memories of stressful moments flow through your mind. But instead of feeling overwhelmed, you feel gratitude for how far you've come. You see your past self, the one who used to rush, worry, panic, and push too hard. You see that version of you with new compassion. You whisper inside your mind, you did your best. And now we are learning a better way. And this kindness toward your past self becomes part of your healing. When you return to your responsibilities, you feel lighter. The rest of your day passes with the usual ups and downs, but you handle each moment with calm strength. When stress rises, you breathe. When things feel fast, you slow down. When people speak with tension, you answer with softness. You become a calm space in a busy world. And people begin to notice. Someone may look at you and say, "You seem calmer these days." Someone may tell you, "You handle things well." And their words remind you that your inner peace is becoming visible to others. Evening arrives once again. You finish your tasks. You step outside into the fading light. The sky is painted with soft colors: orange, pink, gold, blue. You breathe deeply, feeling the cool air fill your lungs. And in this moment, you feel connected to the world in a way you didn't feel before. You feel yourself standing between the past and the future, grounded in the present, calm and clear. When you return home, you move slowly, peacefully, like someone who understands the value of rest. You prepare a simple meal. You enjoy it without rushing. You clean up gently. And then you spend time doing something relaxing, stretching, listening to music, reading, or simply sitting quietly. You let your body soften, your mind loosen, your heart rest. As bedtime comes, you lie down again, letting the blankets wrap you in comfort. You close your eyes, and your breath follows a slow, quiet rhythm. You begin reflecting on the day, your moments of calm, your moments of stress, the lessons you learned, the patience you practiced. And you realize something extraordinary. Peace is not a perfect state. Peace is a relationship with yourself. You remember the inner place you discovered earlier in the day, the gentle room inside your heart. You imagine stepping into that room now, closing the door behind you, leaving the noise of the world outside. Inside this room, everything feels soft and warm. The air feels calm. Your breath feels natural. Your thoughts slow down. You feel safe. You feel quiet. You feel whole. And then, in that inner room, you speak softly to yourself. I am learning to return to this place. I am learning to choose peace. I am learning to live gently with myself. These simple words become a warm light inside your chest. You drift into sleep with a peaceful understanding. No matter what happens tomorrow, you can always return to this inner place of calm. It lives inside you. It belongs to you. It is always waiting for you. The next day begins quietly. as if the world is giving you another gentle chance to practice the calm you have been building. You open your eyes slowly, feeling the softness of the pillow beneath your head and the warmth of the blanket around your body. For a moment, you do nothing. You simply breathe. And in that simple breath, you notice again how different you feel compared to the days before. Your mind is not racing. Your heart is not heavy. Your thoughts are not jumping from one worry to another. Instead, there is space. Space to breathe. Space to feel. Space to begin the day with calm instead of pressure. You stretch your arms above your head, feeling your muscles wake up with a slow, gentle pull. You let out a quiet sigh that releases the last bits of tension held from the night. This small stretch, this small breath, feels like a soft promise that today will be another step toward peace. You sit up slowly, letting the morning light touch your face, warming your skin, reminding you that today is a new gift. As you walk toward the kitchen, you move with a peaceful rhythm. You no longer rush through the morning like you used to. You no longer hurry your thoughts or push your body to move faster than it wants. You walk with a kind of soft confidence, like someone who knows they can handle whatever the day brings. You prepare your morning drink, maybe warm tea, maybe coffee, maybe just water, and you hold the cup with both hands, feeling the temperature spread into your palms. You take a slow sip, enjoying the small comfort it brings, and you let this quiet moment become your gentle beginning. You look out of the window. The world outside is slowly waking up. Cars begin to move. People start walking. The sky shows early colors. And you stand there watching everything from a peaceful distance. You notice something beautiful. The world is always moving, always rushing, always changing, but you don't have to move at the same speed. You can move gently. You can breathe slowly. You can choose a different pace. As you prepare to leave for the day, you speak softly to yourself, almost like a quiet morning prayer. I will carry peace with me today. You repeat it one more time, letting the words settle in your heart. I will carry peace with me today. And with that intention, you step outside. The air feels fresh on your skin. You pull your jacket or shirt closer to you, feeling the temperature of the morning. You walk with a steady pace, not too fast, not too slow, just present. You notice how your feet touch the ground with every step. You notice how your breath flows gently in and out. You notice the quiet world around you, the people who pass by, the simple life unfolding in every direction. And you realize something meaningful. Peace is not a place. Peace is a way of moving, a way of seeing, a way of being. As you continue walking, you begin to sense stress rising, not because anything is wrong, but because your mind remembers old habits. You think about your responsibilities. You think about the tasks waiting for you. You think about the conversations you might have today. For a moment, you feel the familiar tightness in your chest. But instead of letting it take over, you breathe deeply. You relax your shoulders. You say gently to yourself, I will take things one step at a time. This small sentence softens everything. When you arrive at your workplace or your school, you enter the building with calmness. You feel your steps slow slightly. You feel your mind settle. You begin your morning tasks with clarity and patience. But soon, as always, life begins to speed up. Someone asks you a question. Someone else needs help. A problem appears. A message arrives. A deadline changes. You feel the energy around you becoming faster and louder. For a moment, you feel yourself getting pulled into the speed of the world. Your mind begins to react. Your breath becomes shorter. Your shoulders tighten. Stress knocks at your door. But this time, something inside you stops. You breathe. You remember your intention. I will carry peace with me today. And with this simple remembering, your whole body begins to calm down again. You answer the question. You solve the small problem. You reply to the message. You do what you need to do, but you do it with a gentle rhythm. and people around you begin to notice. Someone looks at you with curiosity, surprised at how calm you seem. Someone else feels comforted by your presence. And you start to understand something powerful. Your calm does not only help you, it helps the people around you too. As the morning moves forward, you find a small moment to step away. Maybe you walk to a quiet corner. Maybe you stand by a window. Maybe you simply close your eyes at your desk. You take one slow, deep breath, then another. And with each breath, you return to yourself. You return to your inner stillness. You return to the peaceful place you discovered inside. You begin to understand that this inner place is always there, even when you forget it, even when stress hides it, even when life feels too fast. It never leaves you. It waits quietly for the moment you choose to return. And knowing this gives you strength. Later in the day, you face a bigger challenge. Something unexpected happens. Something frustrating. Something confusing. You feel your heart beat faster. You feel your mind start to spin. You feel your old habits trying to pull you back into stress. For a moment, you almost fall into that old pattern. But then you remember the soft room inside your heart, the room of peace, the room of breath, the room of calm. You close your eyes for 3 seconds. You breathe in slowly. You breathe out fully. And in that small moment, everything changes. You open your eyes again with clarity. You look at the problem with steady focus. You choose your words carefully. You move with patience. And slowly, the challenge becomes smaller. You feel proud, not because you solved everything perfectly, but because you stayed connected to your peace. After a few more hours, you take a longer break. Maybe during lunch, maybe during a walk, maybe during a quiet moment alone. You sit down and rest. You look at the world again, the sky, the buildings, the people walking past. And you notice something. You feel more connected to everything around you. You feel part of the world, not separated from it by stress or fear. You feel calm, steady, grounded. As you sit there, you reflect on something important. Peace is not about avoiding life. Peace is about meeting life with presence. You realize that every stressful moment today was a chance to practice peace. Every challenge was a lesson. Every breath was a tool. You are not trying to escape stress. You are learning to carry calm through it. When the afternoon continues, you return to your responsibilities with renewed strength. You feel balanced. You feel focused. You feel gentle with yourself. And because you are gentle with yourself, you become gentle with others too. You speak more softly. You listen more fully. You respond with kindness. And the world around you begins to soften in return. Evening finally arrives, and the day begins to slow down. You gather your things. You step outside into the open air. The sky shows the colors of sunset again, soft orange, deep gold, fading blue. You breathe in the evening air, feeling it wash through you like a quiet wave. And in that moment, you feel grateful for yourself. Grateful for your effort. Grateful for your growth. As you walk home, you feel the weight of the day lifting with every step. You notice people again, their tired eyes, their busy movements. But instead of judging them, you feel compassion. You wish them peace in your mind. You hope they find the calm that you are learning to carry. When you arrive home, you enter your space with relief. You take off your shoes. You relax your body. You sit for a moment, enjoying the quiet. You prepare a simple dinner, moving slowly, letting the warmth of the food comfort you. After dinner, you rest. Maybe you stretch. Maybe you read. Maybe you watch something soft. Maybe you sit in silence. Whatever you choose, you do it gently. As night settles and you lie down in bed, you place one hand on your chest and feel your heartbeat, steady, calm, quiet. You close your eyes. You breathe slowly. And you speak softly to yourself. Today, I carried peace with me. Tomorrow, I will carry it again. And with that final thought, You drift into sleep with a deep understanding. The peace inside you is real. It grows with every breath, every choice, every gentle moment. And you can carry it wherever you go. The morning begins softly again. You wake up, hearing the quiet sounds of your home. Maybe it is the hum of a refrigerator, the distant chirping of birds, or the gentle rustle of leaves outside. You lie in bed for a moment, noticing how peaceful it feels to simply exist without rushing. Your breath flows naturally. Your mind feels lighter. You smile gently to yourself, realizing that even in the ordinary, small moments, there is a kind of calm that has been waiting for you all along. Today, you decide to notice these small moments more fully. You stretch slowly, moving your arms above your head and feeling your body wake up gradually. There is no hurry. There is no pressure. You feel your muscles loosen and your joints respond to your careful movements. As you move through your morning routine, you pay attention to each simple task: brushing your teeth, washing your face, making your bed, pouring your morning drink. Each small action becomes a chance to practice awareness. Each small action becomes a reminder that calm is not only found in meditation or quiet walks, it is also found in the everyday, in the moments we usually pass by without noticing. When you step outside, you notice the world around you as if for the first time. The air feels fresh. The sunlight touches your skin gently. A small breeze moves the leaves. The sounds of life, footsteps, distant traffic, birds, create a quiet rhythm. You breathe in slowly, enjoying the sensation of being present. You remind yourself that peace is not something far away or hard to reach. Peace can exist in the small, ordinary moments, and noticing it is like opening a secret door inside yourself. As you walk to your responsibilities, you practice slow, mindful steps. You notice how your feet touch the ground. You notice the swing of your arms. You notice your breath. And even when people pass by quickly, when cars honk, when life feels busy, you remind yourself you can carry calm even in the smallest spaces. You do not need everything to be perfect to feel peace. You only need to be present. During your day, you find small pockets of stillness. Maybe it is waiting at a bus stop, standing quietly in line, or sitting at your desk for a brief moment. You pause and breathe. You notice your thoughts, your emotions, your surroundings. You let yourself experience these tiny moments fully. You notice how even 30 seconds of awareness can change the way you feel. The world continues to move quickly, but you have discovered a way to move slowly within it. When stress begins to appear, as it always does, you recognize it early. You notice the tension in your shoulders. You notice your breath becoming shorter. You notice your thoughts rushing. And you pause. You take one deep breath, then another. You soften your body. You remind yourself gently, this feeling will pass. I can handle it. I am calm. And with each slow, careful breath, the stress loses its power. It may still exist, but it no longer controls you. You are learning to notice stress without letting it take over. Later, when a task feels overwhelming, you break it into smaller steps. You focus on each step one at a time, rather than letting your mind race toward the end result. You breathe, move, and act calmly. You notice how much easier life feels when you slow down and focus on what is in front of you. You notice how your calm spreads to others around you. People notice the softness in your voice, the steadiness in your hands, the quiet patience in your eyes. And you realize calm is not just for you. Calm is something you can share without even trying. During a short break, you step outside or look out a window. You notice a small detail, a flower, a bird, the movement of a tree branch in the wind. You focus on it for a moment. You feel the small beauty around you. And in that moment, a wave of gratitude fills your chest. You realize that calm grows when you notice small wonders. It grows when you slow down. It grows when you pay attention to the ordinary and find something extraordinary inside it. As your day continues, you remind yourself to return to these small moments of calm again and again. You breathe. You notice. You soften. You smile at small things. You speak softly. You act gently. Even when the world is loud, even when life is busy, you carry these moments like tiny treasures in your heart. They protect you. They remind you of who you are. They remind you that peace is always available, even in the smallest places. Evening comes, and the day begins to slow naturally. You walk home with awareness. You notice the colors of the sky. You notice the sounds of the street. You notice the rhythm of your steps. You feel connected to your body, to your surroundings, to yourself. You understand that every small choice you made today, pausing, breathing, noticing, softening, has helped you carry peace within you. At home, you move gently through your evening routine. You prepare a simple meal, enjoying each action. You rest for a few moments, noticing your calm and how it has grown throughout the day. You smile to yourself, understanding that the ordinary is filled with quiet miracles. The small moments you have practiced today are the moments that build your calm. As you prepare for sleep, you lie down, placing one hand on your chest and noticing your heartbeat. You breathe slowly. You feel your body relax. You reflect on the day, recognizing all the moments, big and small, where you chose calm. You feel grateful for yourself, for your patience, and for your awareness. You whisper softly, "I can find peace in every moment, no matter how small. Peace is always here for me." You drift into sleep with a sense of gentle accomplishment. You understand that calm is not something you find only in quiet retreats or perfect situations. Calm is something you create, moment by moment, by noticing, by breathing, by being present. Every small choice today has built a stronger, steadier foundation inside you. And with that, you rest, ready for tomorrow, ready to continue carrying peace wherever you go. The morning comes gently again, and you wake up slowly, feeling the warmth of your bed and the quiet of the room around you. You stretch your arms, feeling your body awaken with softness instead of tension. Your mind is calm. Your heart is steady. You notice the little sounds of the morning, a bird singing, a distant car passing, the gentle rustle of leaves outside your window. For a moment, you do nothing except breathe. And in this simple act, you feel the quiet power of calm. You rise from your bed and move slowly through your morning routine. Brushing your teeth, washing your face, making your bed, each action is deliberate. Each action is a moment to practice awareness. You notice your breath as it moves naturally in and out. You notice how your body feels as it stretches and moves. You notice the soft sounds around you. Even these small, ordinary tasks are now filled with intention and presence. You remind yourself, calm is created, not found. As you prepare your morning drink, you hold the cup in both hands and feel its warmth. You take a slow sip, noticing the sensation as the liquid moves down your throat and warms your body. You feel a gentle satisfaction, knowing that even the smallest moments can become rituals of calm. You realize that habits are built slowly, one small action at a time, and the calm you have been practicing is now becoming part of your daily rhythm. Stepping outside, you notice the morning air, soft on your skin. You walk at a steady pace, not rushed, not hurried, simply present. The world around you is busy, but you move with your own quiet rhythm. Cars pass by, people walk quickly, sounds of life fill the air, but you carry your calm within you. You notice your breath, your steps, your heartbeat, and you feel grounded. You understand that calm is no longer something occasional, it is becoming a daily habit, a constant companion that you carry with you. As you reach your responsibilities, stress begins to appear as it always does. A problem arises. A task feels difficult. Someone speaks sharply. You feel your heart beat faster, your mind tense. But this time, something has changed. You notice the stress early. You pause. You take one slow, deep breath. Then another. You remind yourself, I can handle this. I can respond calmly. And with that gentle awareness, the stress loses some of its intensity. You respond with patience, with clarity, and with presence. Throughout the day, you notice more opportunities to practice calm. Each meeting, each task, each conversation is now a chance to carry your inner peace forward. You take short breaks, breathe, notice your surroundings, and return to your tasks with clarity. You begin to see that calm is not just a feeling, it is a way of moving through life. Each deliberate breath, each soft step, each mindful choice strengthens the habit. You feel more confident, more capable, and more connected to yourself. During a quiet moment, you reflect on how far you have come. You think about the days when stress used to feel overwhelming, when your mind raced, when your body felt heavy. You remember those moments with compassion for your past self. And you feel proud of yourself for practicing, for learning, for creating this new habit of calm. You understand that calm is not perfect. Calm is not permanent. Calm is something you build slowly, one choice at a time every day. As the day continues, you notice how your calm affects others. People respond to your presence with gentleness. Conversations feel smoother. Tension feels lighter. Even when challenges appear, you remain steady. You are learning that calm is not only for you, it is something that spreads naturally, simply by existing in a peaceful way. And this realization gives you quiet joy. Evening arrives, and the pace of the day slows. You walk home, noticing the colors of the sky, the sounds of the streets, the simple beauty of life continuing around you. You feel the rhythm of your steps, the flow of your breath, the steadiness of your heartbeat. You reflect on the day and see how many small moments of calm you practiced. You see how these moments have strengthened your habit. You smile softly, understanding that calm is now a part of you, something you can return to any time. At home, you move gently through your evening routine. You prepare dinner, enjoy it slowly, and rest for a few moments. You notice the warmth of your body, the softness of your surroundings, and the quiet in your mind. You remind yourself that building calm is not about perfection. It is about repetition, awareness, and gentle persistence. Every day, every moment, every breath is an opportunity to strengthen this habit. As you lie down to sleep, you place one hand on your chest and feel your heartbeat. You breathe slowly and deeply. You reflect on the day and all the moments where you chose calm. You whisper softly to yourself, I am building calm every day. I am carrying peace wherever I go. Calm is becoming my habit, my choice, my way of life. And with that, you drift into sleep with a sense of quiet accomplishment. You understand that tomorrow will bring new challenges, new moments of stress, and new opportunities, but now you are ready. You have learned to carry calm wherever you go, and it is now a part of who you are.